Hello friends, welcome to the lecture of functional analysis. In the last lecture we have seen the theorem related to projection. Rather we have started with the definition of a projection and seen important theorem regarding what is the range space of the uh, projection and why there is a need to have projection to be a idempotent mapping. Now in today's lecture we are going for the next theorems which are giving us the important properties regarding the projections. Let me share my screen. Yeah, actually we have seen this theorem in the last lectures, but there is some issue regarding my voice in the last lecture. Therefore, I am just repeating both the theorems again. Therefore, let us start with the first theorem we want to understand today. The theorem says that if P is a projection on a Banach space B and M and N are the range and null spaces, then both are closed linear spaces. We will write the statement. If P is a projection, if P is a projection on a Banach space B, on a Banach space B, and M and N are range and null spaces, range and null spaces respectively, then prove that M and N are closed linear subspaces, closed linear subspaces of a Banach space B of B such that B is equals to M direct sum N. B is equal to M direct sum N. If we look at the statement of this theorem, P is a projection given to us and M and N are the range and null spaces are also given, and the aim in the theorem is to prove that M and N are the closed linear subspaces of B such that B is M direct sum N. But as it was given that P is a projection, therefore we have seen the property already that B is going to divide the given space into two different spaces M and N, where B is given as a range and null space. Therefore, we are not going to prove it again. Therefore, simply we will write here by property number 1 of a projection, B is written as M direct sum N. M direct sum N. Therefore, now it remains to show only that M and N are the closed linear subspaces of B. M and N are the closed linear subspaces, right? Therefore, let us start to show that M and N are closed subspaces of B. Now we know already that as it is a range and null space, therefore these are both are the closed these are the subspaces. Now we will try to prove it as closed. Now we will start with the null space first. Null space is defined as collection of all the vectors x in B such that the P image is 0. The P image is 0. If the P image is 0, one can write the set as P inverse image of a vector singleton 0. Now as P is given to be a projection on a Banach space, means P is continuous linear idempotent. Therefore P is possessing the property of continuous. Therefore here I will write, since P is a projection, since P is a projection on B, it implies P is continuous on B. P is continuous on B. Now if P is continuous on B, knowing singleton 0 is a closed subset of B, every singleton set is closed, that we know. Therefore, we are going to make use of the theorem we have studied already, that if mapping is continuous, then inverse image of closed set in codomain is inverse in the domain set. Therefore, here we will write, and what we know, singleton 0 is closed set in B. closed set in B. Now what we are going to do? We are going to use a theorem. Let me write the theorem by some different color pen. Therefore, if F is a mapping, F is a mapping from a metric space X to Y is a continuous mapping, is a continuous mapping if F inverse of G closed in X, F is a mapping from X to Y, right? Whenever F inverse G is closed in X, whenever G is closed in, whenever G is closed in Y. Okay, means here if we have, this is X to Y mapping, if we have any closed substrate of G, if I pull back it to the domain space, it will give me F inverse of G. Then this F inverse of G is closed in X. This is the one of the important property of the continuous mapping. Actually, we have used this property regarding the open set. That is, a mapping is continuous if F inverse G is open in X whenever G is open in Y. The same result is true for the closed sets as well. Therefore, knowing singleton 0 here, let us just check it again. Here, singleton 0 is closed in B. P is a mapping defined from B to B, right? Therefore, singleton 0 closed in B. Therefore, what is the inverse image? P inverse of singleton 0 will be surely closed in B. Therefore, here we can easily say that P inverse of singleton 0, P inverse of singleton 0 is closed subspace. P inverse of singleton 0 is closed subspace of B. But what is P inverse of singleton 0? P inverse of singleton 0 is nothing but the null space. Therefore, N is closed subspace of B. N is closed subspace of B. I'll just insert the pages here. Okay. For one part, we have proved that null space N is closed subspace of B. Now we will go for proof in a similar manner for the range space. Now in the last lecture we have seen range space is the collection of those vectors X in B which satisfies the condition P of X is equal to X. Which satisfies the condition P of X is equals to X. Therefore, we'll try to write the set M as collection of all the vectors X in B such that this is X minus P of X is equal to 0. Okay. Now, X we will write it as image of a identity mapping. Right. Therefore, this is I of X minus P of X is equals to 0. Right. Therefore, again one can write by using the pointwise operation of the mappings. This is I minus P operated on X is equal to is equal to 0. Now this is now becoming very similar to the null space of P. This M, one can say that this is a null space of M is null space of the mapping I minus P. Now it remains to check only that whether I minus P is continuous or not. If I minus P is continuous by the previous part of the proof, one can say that this null space is also closed. Now let us check. We know that the identity mapping is always continuous. The mapping P is given to be continuous. Therefore, if both the mappings are continuous, one can say that I minus P is continuous. Therefore, here I will write since identity is always continuous, P is continuous. Therefore, may I write I minus P is continuous. I minus P is continuous. Therefore, hence one can say that null space of I minus P is closed. That is, M is closed subspace of B. M is closed subspace of B. Hence, this is the proof for the theorem both M and N, range space and null space of a projection defined on the Banach space B are closed. Okay, let us go to the next theorem. The next theorem is giving us another property regarding the projections, which actually tells us that whenever we are writing Pz equals to X is a projection. Whenever we are writing Pz equals to X is a projection, then range and null spaces are M and N. Okay, therefore here we want to prove that Banach projection is defined on a Banach space. PZ is equal to X is a projection defined. Let me write the statement in detail. Let B be a Banach space. Let B be a Banach space. M and N are closed linear subspaces. Now why we are saying closed? Because just now we have proved that these two are range and null spaces and both are closed linear subspaces of B. Closed linear subspaces of B. What is given? B such that B is M direct sum N. Next, if Z is equal to X plus Y is unique representation of a vector in B as a sum of vectors in M and N. Then prove that. Here it comes with the main aim to prove, and then prove that the mapping Pz is equal to X. Pz is equals to X is a projection on B whose range and null spaces are M and N. Okay, so for what is the final aim to prove that this Pz equal to X is a projection defined on a Banach space. What is given that B is a direct sum of M and N. But one of the properties, second property of the projection tells us that whenever a linear space is defined to be a direct sum of the two subspaces, then there is a projection. But the projection will be defined on a linear space. Here we want to prove that the projection is defined on a Banach space. Now what is the difference between projection on a linear space and Banach space? Okay, on a linear space, a linear idempotent operator is a projection, but on a Banach space, continuous linear transformation, continuous linear idempotent is projection. Let me write, whenever we are considering on linear space, linear idempotent transformation will be a projection. Okay, therefore we have only two properties, linear and idempotent. But whenever the case comes with the Banach spaces, we are going to add the property continuous. That is, continuous, linear and idempotent will give us the projection on a Banach space. Okay, therefore here as B is direct sum of M and N, one can easily say that this is a projection defined on a linear space B. Now, in order to prove that this is a projection on a Banach space B, we should prove that the mapping P is continuous. Okay, and in order to prove the mapping P is continuous, we are going to make the use of proof we have taken in the closed graph theorem. Okay, I hope you have remembered, you are remembering the proof we have taken in closed graph theorem. Therefore, let us start the proof. Here I will just write by property number 2. By property number 2, since B is given to be M direct sum N, here we can say that the projection is true or exist for linear space B. Therefore, to make this as a projection on a Banach space B, we have to prove that this P is continuous. Therefore, let us make the point very clear. We want to prove that this is a to prove that it is a projection on a Banach space. It is enough to prove. What is enough to prove? As per our discussion, it is enough to prove that P is continuous. It is enough to prove that P is continuous. Again, the way we are going to use that the mapping P is continuous is renorming the given space. We know that P is a mapping defined from B to B, where B itself is a Banach space, means it is a normed linear space, means the norm is already acting on both the domain and codomain spaces, right? Now what we will do, we will redefine or we will renorm the given space B. Okay, therefore here I will write, let us define a new norm. In closed graph theorem also we have renormed it, and then by using the new norm we have proved that the mapping is continuous. No doubt we have used a Banach's theorem as well. Here also in the proof we are going to use a Banach. Therefore here let us write, therefore let us define a new norm on B by using. Now what I am going to do, by using which norm I am going to define? For an arbitrary vector, norm dash we will define as norm x plus norm of y. Okay, now already in a theorem related to direct sums we have proved that this is a norm x plus norm y. Otherwise one can check orally all the properties of the four properties of the norm. Norm is non-negative, norm is equal to 0 if and only if the vector is 0, triangular inequality, property regarding the scalar multiplication. We have done it already in the theorem related to direct sums. Therefore, I am not going to repeat it, right? Therefore, what we are going to do, we will whatever is the space we have obtained by renorming, we will call it as B dash. Therefore, what is my B dash space? This is original B renormed with norm dash, renormed with norm dash. Okay, therefore here we have redefined it. Therefore let us make use of the definition of P. From the definition of P, what I'm going to prove? I'm going to prove P is continuous or bounded, because linearity is with us. Therefore here I'll write norm of P of Z is equal to norm of X. Now we will add a non-negative quantity norm Y on the right. So what will happen? If I add the non-negative quantity on the right, here it will be an inequality, and this is nothing but a new norm defined, norm dash of Z. Therefore the inequality we have obtained is norm of Pz is less than or equals to norm dash of Z. Therefore what we have obtained is the property of boundedness. Therefore P is a bounded transformation or operator, but this is bounded from a mapping P as B dash into B. Right now, observe, this Z is from the domain and dash is working, norm dash is working on Z. Therefore, the domain should be B dash, and for PZ, for the codomain, simply norm we have. Therefore, the codomain is B. Therefore, P is a bounded transformation, but P is taken to be a mapping from B dash to B. P is bounded, therefore P is continuous also, right? Therefore, we have proved that P is a continuous mapping from B dash to B or B dash into B. Now, in order to prove that P is continuous from B to B, we will prove that B dash and B will have same topologies. B dash and B have same topology. Therefore, here we will write, if we prove that B dash and B have the same topologies, have the same topology, then P will be continuous. P will be continuous on B also. On B means what? P will be a mapping from B to B. Okay, we have already with us P dash is continuous from B dash to B. Now we want to prove that P is continuous from B to B. Therefore, we are going to show this B dash domain of a mapping and this B have same topologies. In order to prove that these have same topologies, we are going to establish the homeomorphism, and in closed graph theorem we have seen the homeomorphism between the two spaces is established with the help of identity mapping. Why? Because these two spaces are same, underlying vectors are same, only the norm defined are different. Therefore identity mapping will help us in order to prove that there is a homeomorphism between the two spaces. Therefore we will write, let I denote the mapping, identity mapping, no doubt. I denote the identity mapping from B dash onto B. Therefore, I'll write I is a mapping from B dash onto B. This is onto identity, so it is onto always. And how it is defined? This is defined by I of Z is equals to Z. How many property it is going to possess? Let us check. What is norm of IZ? Norm of Iz is nothing but norm of Z, but the vector Z is expressed as x plus y. But by using a triangular inequality, one can write this as less equal by norm of x plus norm of y. But with the help of new norm, this is norm dash of Z. Therefore, what we have obtained, norm of Iz is less than or equals to norm dash of Z. Means this mapping I is bounded. Okay, linear also, bounded and linear, therefore I can write it is continuous also, 1 also, and on 2 also. Therefore I is going to possess all the properties, that is I is a bounded linear transformation of B dash onto B. Therefore I is going to be continuous linear transformation of B dash onto B, and by using a Banach's theorem. Okay, by Banach's theorem, this is homeomorphism by Banach's theorem. Shall I recall what is Banach's theorem? I'll just recall Banach theorem. Let me change the color of my pen to write the Banach's theorem. Banach's theorem statement says that let B and B dash be Banach spaces. B and B dash be the Banach spaces, and T be a 1-1 continuous linear transformation of B onto B dash. B onto B dash, then T is homeomorphism. This we have proved. For homeomorphism, we know how many properties are going to be necessary. Now, what is how many properties? 1-1 onto both F and F inverse are going to be continuous. Right? Therefore, by Banach's theorem, this is homeomorphism. Therefore, here by using now here all the properties of the Banach's theorem are satisfied. The identity mapping is 1-1 continuous linear as well as onto. Therefore, identity is homeomorphism. Therefore, one can say that Therefore, here one can say that I is homeomorphism. Homeomorphism of B dash onto B. Of B dash onto B. Therefore, B and B dash have same topologies. B and B dash have same topology. Why these have same topologies? That we have discussed already in the case of equivalent norm, producing the same topology. Therefore, B and B dash have same topologies. Therefore, P will be continuous as a mapping from B to B also. Why? Because it is already given to it is already proved to be continuous from B dash to B. These two are having same topologies. Therefore, one can say that the mapping P is a continuous also. Therefore, we know P is a projection on a linear space. We have proved that P is continuous. Therefore, combinedly, one can say that this P will work as a projection. P is a projection on a Banach space. Because in order to become this projection on a linear space to be a projection on a Banach space, we need continuity. Hence, we have proved the continuity of a projection. That's why this becomes a projection on a Banach space B. It's a really easy proof. Actually, you just go through it. I have repeated this lecture because same lecture which I have recorded in the last, there is some problem regarding my voice. Okay, I hope you have understood the lecture. Therefore, let us stop for today. Thank you for watching today's lecture.